शिला प्रभुपाद की जय। इस्कॉन आचार्य शिला प्रभुपाद की जय। नामाचार्य शिला हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. So welcome to this morning Bhagavatam class. Today we are reciting the verse from Canto 4, chapter 12, and the text number 36. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Text 36. So, Yad Brajamanam Swaruchaiva Sarvato Lokastrayo hi Anuvibrajanta ete Yannavaraja Jantusu e Nanugraha Vrajanti Badrani Charanti ye Nisham Yad Brajamanam Swaruchaiva Sarvato Lokastrayo hi Anuvibrajanta ete Yannavrajan jantu se yen anugraha Vrajanti badrani charanti ye nisham Yad brajamanam swaruchaiva sarvato Lokastrayo hi anuvibrajanta ete Yannavraja jantu se yen anugraha Vrajanti badrani charanti ye nisham Prabhuji. Yad brajamanam swaruchaiva sarvato Lokastrayo hi anuvibrajanta yete Yannavrajan jantu suye anugraha Rajanti badrani charanti ye nisham Yad brajamanam swaruchaiva sarvato Lokastrayo hi anuvibrajanta ete Yannavrajan jantu suye anunanugraha Vrajanti badrani charanti ye nisham Yad brajamanam swaruchaiva sarvato लोकास्त्रयो हि अनुविव्रजान्त ये ते यन्न व्रजान् जानतु ये ननुग्रह भजन्ति भद्राणि चरन्ति ये निश्चित. Okay, word to word meaning. Yet, which planet? Brajamanam, illuminating. Swarucha, by self-effulgence. Eva, only. Sarvata, everywhere. Loka, planetary systems. Traya, three. He, certainly. Anu, thereupon. Vibrajante, give of light. Ete, these. Yet, which planet? Na, not. Avrajan, have reached. Jantus, to living entities. A, those who. Ananugraha, not merciful. Vrajanti, reach. Bhadrani, welfare activities. Charanti, engage in. Ye, those who. Anisham, constantly. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Translation, please repeat. The self-effulgent Vaikuntha planets, by whose illumination all, the illuminating planets within this material world give off reflected light, cannot be reached by those who are not merciful to other living entities. Only persons who constantly engage in welfare activities for the other living entities can reach the Vaikuntha planets. Purport. So here is a description of two aspects of Vaikuntha planets. The first is that the Vaikuntha sky there is no need of the sun and moon. This is confirmed by the Upanishads as well. Bhagavad Gita Na tad bhashyate suryo na shashanko na pavaka. In the spiritual world, the Vaikunthas are themselves illuminated. There is therefore no need of sun, moon or electric light. It is in fact the illumination of the Vaikuntha which is reflected in the material sky. Only by the reflection are the suns in the material universe illuminated. After illumination of the sun, all the stars and moons are illuminated. In other words, all the luminaries in the material sky borrow illumination from Vaikuntha Loka. From this material world, however, people can be transferred to the Vaikuntha Loka if they incessantly engage in welfare activities for all other living entities. Such incessant welfare activities can really be performed only in Krishna consciousness. There is no philanthropic work within this material world but Krishna conscious that engage a person 24 hours a day. A Krishna conscious being is always engaged in planning how to take all of suffering humanity back home, back to Godhead. Even if one is not successful in reclaiming all the fallen souls back to Godhead, still because he is Krishna conscious, his path to Vaikuntha Loka is open. He personally becomes qualified to enter the Vaikuntha Loka, and if anyone follows such a devotee, he also enter into the Vaikuntha Loka. Others who engage in envious activities are known as karmis. Karmis are envious of one another. Simply for sense gratification, they can kill thousands of innocent animals. Jnanis are not as sinful as karmis, but they do not try to reclaim the others back to Godhead. They perform austerities for their own liberation. Yogis are also engaged in self-arrangement by trying to attain mystic power. But devotees, Vaishnavas, who are servants of the Lord, come forward in the actual field of work. Krishna consciousness to reclaim fallen souls. Only Krishna consciousness person are eligible to enter into the spiritual world. That is clearly stated in this verse and is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, wherein the Lord says that there is no one dear to him those who preach the gospel of Bhagavad Gita to the world. Next to Mangalacharya. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parjana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Krupa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Runda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna. So we are continuing the Dhruv Maharaj pastimes and from the Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 4 and Chapter 12. So now the Dhruv Maharaj is going to, reaching the Vaikuntha planet. So in the previous verses we have seen the close associates of Vishnu arrived in a separate special plane to take Dhruv Maharaj back to his Vishnu's abode. So now in yesterday's verse also we saw when while passing through in the aeroplane, he said the Dhruv Maharaj crossed all over all other planets and finally he is reaching to the Vishnu Loka. So in today's verse, now the focus is more on Vaikuntha planets, because since Dhruv Maharaj is going to Vaikuntha planet, what are the key requirements to enter into the Vaikuntha planet? Whether Dhruv Maharaj has got those qualifications, we can think little bits, we can spend time. So Dhruv Maharaj, we know that initially we worshipped Vishnu for material desires, and now Dhruv Maharaj in the plane to go back to Vaikuntha Loka. So the transformation has happened, right? Selfishness to selflessness. So these are the two characteristics this verse is highlighting. If you want to enter into the Vaikuntha Loka, what are the key requirements? One is the characteristic of Vaikuntha Loka, it is mentioned, right? It's self-illuminating. And the other one is selfless nature is required. Means it's mentioned in the purport that those persons who constantly engage in welfare activities for other living entities can reach to Vaikuntha planet. Right? So you need to have the selfless nature, not the selfish, but selfless nature. That is a key requirement to enter into the Vaikuntha planet. Whether they have, so, but in case of Dhruv Maharaj, we see, right? He was when 5 years old, he was dreaming kingdom bigger than his great grandfather Brahma, right? But now, what happened? Like if we see whether according to this verse, whether Dhruv Maharaj has got the quality. Yes, we can remember when Kubera came to give the benediction. When Kubera came after the killing the Yakshas, Swayambhuva Manu came and then he gave the instructions to Dhruv Maharaj, and after that Dhruv Maharaj stopped fighting with the Yakshas, and then he met Kubera. Kubera asked him, okay, I would like to give you benediction. Then what he did ask, he said, Kubera is the treasurer of this all the demigods, and when he was asking, means he is a rich person. If he is like in our current modern terminology, like Forbes Fortune 500, like he will be the Kuvera will be the number one in that position, right? So it will almost like similar to that. So, but such person came and he wanted benediction. Dhruv Maharaj was asking what he was asking. He said simply, let my mind always should engage in the service of Krishna. Let all my thoughts and everything should always remember Krishna. That was the desire benediction he was asking from Kubera. This shows that Dhruv Maharaj has got that quality. It is selflessness. Now, the that for two parts of this verse. One is the Vaikuntha planet description, right? So if it is a self-illumination, even Katha Upanishad also it was mentioned, right? So it is the same thing mentioned. There is no sunshine, there is no moonshine, or there is no stars in the Vaikuntha planet. Everything is illuminated by the internal potency of Supreme Lord. And those the person, the people who can enter is to the Vaikuntha planet is those who surrender to Krishna. So this is what it was mentioned in Upanishads as well. And same thing Prabhupada also highlighted in this verse, chapter 15 of Bhagavad Gita. Na tad bhasayate suryo na shashankopna pavaka yadgatvana nivartante taddama paramam mama. The meaning is the supreme abode of mind is not illuminated by sun or moon nor by fire or electricity. Those who reach it never returns to the material world. So what it said, the shining effulgence of all the planets, in the spiritual planets, all the Vaikuntha planets, that constitute a spiritual sky. That is called Brahma Jyoti. Maybe it is like for some people it may be little bit technical, but how we can, and this Brahma Jyoti is like a effulgence of the supreme person, Vaikuntha, all the planets. It is Krishna's effulgence that is constituting this spiritual sky. In this spiritual sky, one particular portion, that it's 3/4 is occupied by spiritual world, and only 1/4 is material world. This currently where we are standing, this material world is there in the throughout the Brahma Jyoti. Now, when we see the how we can understand this Brahma Jyoti, now in this discussion we can see three things. One is Brahma Jyoti, one is Vaikuntha planet. Within the Vaikuntha planet, Vishnu is there, right? So this with the bodily effulgence coming from Vishnu, the Vaikuntha planet, this Brahma Jyoti is formed. Now, for some people, as I mentioned, it may be too technical. How we can analyze? If we take some material example, we can compare. It will be more easy. Like in this room, we have so many lights, right? That is providing the brightness in this house. So this whole area is illuminated, right? This floor is not having any electricity, right? It's because of this light power bulbs in this room, this floor is getting illuminated. Similarly, another example we can take. Nowadays in big stadiums, in everywhere, they will have floodlights, right? Each floodlight, like when they illuminate, because most of the people playing sports in the night time, what they do, they switch on the floodlights in the evening. So it will not be one floodlight. There will be so many floodlights around the stadium that makes complete stadium illuminated. Similarly, we can see each Vaikuntha planet is like one light in the stadium. Just a material analogy, it's not that we can assume, like imagine, and if you want to understand how this Brahma Jyoti, each of the light you can treat it as a one Vaikuntha planet, and the whole area which is illuminated by this, each of the light and floodlight in the stadium, throughout that stadium area, you can imagine like a Brahma Jyoti. Just it's a comparison to make it understand what is Brahma Jyoti. So the effulgence of that coming from Vaikuntha planet makes it as a Brahma Jyoti. Now, now the thing is, based on this Brahma Jyoti and the Vaikuntha planet, there are different philosophies evolved around the people are trying to understand the God, people are trying to understand the spiritual world, and based on this Vaikuntha Loka, Brahma Jyoti and Supreme Lord residing in that planet, based on that different people come up with the different philosophies. Like if you see in Srimad Bhagavatam verse, it is said, Brahmeti Paramatmeti Bhagavan iti sadyati. If the people wanted to understand Krishna, the absolute truth, people they will understand in three different levels, right? First is Brahmeti. This Brahmeti is like nothing but Brahma Jyoti, right? So some people will think that by seeing Brahma Jyoti, the effulgence of coming from Vaikuntha planet, that itself is a supreme personality. So they think that That's Mayavada philosophy, like the Shankaracharya proposed this philosophy, right? So impersonal philosophy, where by seeing the Brahma Jyoti, they think that that is the ultimate aim. Our life aim is to merge in that Brahma Jyoti. And but whereas the Vaishnavas, what they tell? Vaishnavas tell that okay, they beyond the Brahma Jyoti, you are seeing only Brahma Jyoti, but they analyzed it further. They studied Shastra. They understood, and they thought, no, beyond the Brahma Jyoti, there is a planet is there, spiritual world. Spiritual world, there is a supreme personality of God is there in the form of person. He is the ultimate. So, like that, there are different theories proposed in understanding the God, who is a God. But again, so but our Vaishnava philosophy is saying that Krishna, they analyzed beyond the Brahma Jyoti and they come and put forward the theory that based on the Shastric evidences that okay, Krishna is a person, he is living in the Vaikuntha planet, that Krishna worshipping that Supreme Lord is the topmost thing, not the Brahma Jyoti, right? That is, so even we have four bona fide Vaishnava Sampradayas. They all worshipping the personal form of Krishna. And even if you see Srimad Bhagavatam, everywhere it is the same. Krishna's personal form, glorification of Krishna, who is having the personal form, and Krishna is reciprocating in the form person Krishna, reciprocating with various devotees. So we could see that Krishna's form is important. Then, and not only that, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna himself is saying in the 12th chapter, he is saying that for those whose minds are attached to the unmanifested impersonal feature of Supreme, advancement is very troublesome. To make progress in that discipline is always difficult for those who are embodied. So Krishna is saying that, so this Brahmajyoti is there, meditating on Brahmajyoti, is trying to progress in the path of Brahmajyoti. It's very difficult, it is very troublesome. But in the same chapter, in the subsequent verses, Krishna said, the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, those who fix their mind on my personal form. So this is where, so my personal, not Brahmajyoti, the person residing inside the planet, that form we need to focus. The personality, those who fix their mind on my personal form and are always engaged in worshipping me with great and transcendental faith, are considered to me the most perfect. So Krishna is saying, so when though Brahmajyoti is there, Krishna or Paramatma and Bhagavan is there, worshipping the personal form is the most important thing. This is what Krishna is saying. So from these things, what we can understand is like from this illumination and the Brahma Jyoti, this is how people will interpret. Some people think that it is a light itself is a supreme. Some people other than many acharyas, they told that okay, not just a light, it is a Krishna body is there behind that. That is your actual form. Even Bhagavad Gita also supporting that personal form of worshipping, personal form of Krishna is more beneficial. That is important. That is the proper way. Now, even this Shankaracharya proposed this impersonal philosophy, right? What they do, they worship. If they wanted to go to the merge in the Brahma Jyoti, means they want to become the merge in the Brahma Jyoti, and then they will lose the identity. So the Brahma Jyoti is the supreme, merging in the Brahman. What will happen? You are losing the identity. You will become Brahman. Means you are trying to become God. That is the philosophy they are trying to put forward. So this is how using the Brahma Jyoti, the different incomplete theories came. So, and how they worship, they also do the deity worship. Like what kind of, they do Panchopasana. They worship the 5 gods: Vishnu, Shiva, Durga, Ganesha and Surya. Using this is the worshipping the deity is at the lower form, and final ultimate form is merging in the Brahma Jyoti. So that is how they think. So they think the worshipping the deity is like a low level, and then merging into Brahman is a higher level. But our Vaishnava philosophy, that is not. Worshipping the deity is topmost thing that will take us close to the Krishna. So this is how the various theories, various discussions happened based on the just how the illumination is, the light coming from Supreme Lord, the Vaikuntha planet, the Brahma Jyoti is formed, and the people are started interpreting differently. So this is one section of the purport where we are talking about the illumination. Now the next thing is, so with this, like the selflessness is important character in to enter into the Vaikuntha planet. So now when we see attaining the spiritual world, when we talk about attaining the spiritual world, what exactly it means. Suppose, like if you see, we are in this material world. Where is the if you position, if you see geographically, if you try to understand where is the spiritual world, like we have a universe, material world, where we are currently in. We have Earth is one planet. Below there are hellish planets, and above are heavenly planets, right? Seven heavenly planets, below the hellish planets, and middle Earth. And if beyond this material planet, so the five cover, like the eight coverings will be there: earth, water, fire, air, ether. And beyond that there will be Karnodaka Kajalusha. Karnodaka Karnodaka Sai Vishnu will be Mahavishnu will be lying on that. And beyond that, if you just imagine, beyond that Brahmajyoti will be there, and on top of that Mahesh Dham, and then Ayodhya, then Vaikunta planets, and then Goloka. So this is the hierarchy. So if when you imagine with the material understanding, it's quite far away from the where we are living currently, right? This Vaikunta planet. So attaining the Vaikunta is not just traveling from one place to another place. That is not the understanding, right? So like if you are in the Australia, India, like if you say any world map, we want to travel from Australia to India, right? Well, you want to travel means just you travel from for a few hours in the flight, and you will reach in after in a few hours time, right? That is the relocation. But same logic we cannot apply when we are trying to attain the Vaikunta planet, right? So just not by physical traveling. Even people may think that when we are in this material world, we try to understand everything in the form we see in material world. Like so, in the material world, we use rockets to move, go to the different planets, moon or any other planets, right? So spiritual world is far, far beyond that. So we may think that okay, we don't have enough aeroplanes or rockets to go to the spiritual world. Those kind of things are not correct, because we are trying to see in our material, based on our material understanding, we are trying to see the spiritual world. But that is not applicable in the case of we cannot understand the spiritual world with our material knowledge. That is one of the important thing we have to understand. So like if you example, one more example I can try to give to make it clear. Suppose you wanted to travel, migrate from India or any other country to Australia. Simply you want to migrate, it means what you have to do. You need to understand how the lifestyle is here, what are the rules and regulations, how the law enforcement is happening, everything, lifestyle, cost of living, so many parameters you have to understand, and then you have to get prepared to live in that situation. You cannot simply come here and live without knowing everything. What will happen? You will break the rules and you will get punished, right? So what I'm trying to say is, we are in this like before moving from one country to other country, what you are doing, you try to get familiarization with that country, rules and regulations and atmosphere, weather, everything like that. But when we try, we cannot, if you are living in that country, you cannot apply in India, let's say, you cannot apply same rules in Australia, right? It's a different. Same way, when we are in this material world, when we try to go to spiritual world, when we try to understand everything in the knowledge, surroundings of our material world, and we try to think, okay, spiritual world will be like this. Another example I could tell, suppose if you are to go, a small person from village, he doesn't have any exposure to city life or city atmosphere, and if he is coming to city, and he will see big buildings and big elevators and escalators and so many big lights, so he will be bewildered, right? By seeing first time, when if he will not understand what is happening, what is there. They don't have any clue, right? The person coming from village to city, what means he doesn't have any idea. Similarly, if we are trying to attain the spiritual world, we need to know what is there, what kind of requirement we have to get qualification in order to achieve enter into the spiritual planet. So this verse is highlighting in this today's verse the key characteristic, key quality, the important consciousness we need to develop is welfare to other living entities. That is what the important. That is if you translate in one word, selflessness. Without bothering about your own thing, you need to help other people. Then that will give you the eligibility to understand, to enter into the Vaikunta planet. So these are what in a summary, what we are trying, the where we are living, where you are planning to go. So you always try to understand, the frame of reference will be where currently you are living. You try to understand other place. but that will not give you the correct picture. Means you need to understand inside what is there, how it is functioning, then you can get the eligibility to go there. So same thing, it is highlighted here. You need to get the eligibility by developing the selflessness character, the consciousness in your mind. Now when we talk about this selflessness, then we, like, if you see the in the translations, the only person who constantly engage in welfare activities for other living entities can reach Vaikuntha planet. So this is a generic broad statement, but Prabhupada elaborated below in the purport. Suppose if you take the direct statement of translation, those who are helping other people, like, okay, I have made so much donation to the poor people, I constructed big schools or hospitals and for helping the people, but okay, is he eligible to enter into the Vaikuntha based on this statement? No. We have to understand what is your motive, with what consciousness, with what mood you created these things. If your consciousness is to get good fame, name, then you will not be able to enter into. That's what Prabhupada elaborated. Only Krishna conscious person only can enter into the Vaikuntha, right? If you enter into, you create all the welfare activities only to get good name, fame in the society, that will not give you Vaikuntha. Actually, I think Prabhupada told small story, like previously many times many people referred, like one person donated a fan to in the temple, and the fan, and that fan, generally in India, if you see, that will be mentioned, this item is donated by so and so person, right? He kept the fan in the temple, he fixed the fan, and people are feeling very hot, and some person switched on the fan. Then the person, other people switched on the fan. The person who donated was sitting there. They said, no, don't switch on. If you switch on it, people cannot see my name on the fan, right? So if you switch, if you donate things with that intention, you will not. That is not the pure consciousness. That is not the right consciousness. You are not supposed to donate in that consciousness, right? So that's what people will do, the welfare activities, but what mood, what consciousness you are doing that welfare activities. That is very important to understand. So you need to you should not have the right consciousness, you should have right consciousness. In this regard, we quickly spend on what is that material consciousness and what is the spiritual consciousness. So in order to get into the Vaikuntha spiritual planet, Vaikuntha Loka, we need to develop the spiritual consciousness. But in fact, currently in this material world, we are having this material consciousness. Like, what is this material consciousness? Means everything centered around you. You try to do so many activities as a karmis. Yeah? You try to do so many, like you want to fulfill your desires, you try to harm many other people. If you don't mind harming other people, just you grow. Yeah, I have to enjoy, I have to get benefit, I do whatever I want, right? That is the consciousness. That is the materialistic consciousness, right? But in the materialistic world, what will happen? The more you try to enjoy, you will get more sufferings. That is what. But people don't understand. Okay, one example, it's a real incident. I was listening Gaurang Prabhu's his offerings to His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, our spiritual master. So one incident he highlighted, when he took one of his colleague who studied in IIT Mumbai. Right? So he took that person to the Guru Maharaj, and Maharaj was explaining, okay, this material world is full of miseries. Same thing he was saying, you try to enjoy, but you will get more and more sufferings. Then that person told, Maharaj, so far my life is very happy. I never encountered any miseries so far. But then it was like a challenging mode. When Maharaj was saying that this world is full of miseries, and he was telling that I never encountered any miseries in my life. So far I am very happy. I am leading very happy life. Then Maharaj told, just it's a matter of time, everyone will get those. But in line to the Maharaj words, after few years, he had so many problems in his life. Then that was so we try to enjoy more, to get more fun and happiness, but in the material consciousness we try to enjoy for our without following proper rules and regulations. What will happen? It leads to suffering. So this is our material mentality. So we need to develop the spiritual consciousness. So How we can, one more example I will give you to the, this is all material consciousness, means it's everything centered around you. I wanted to get something, I need to get, this is how you perform all your day to day activities. Like, if suppose if you want to join an army, right? If an army person is there, what is his responsibility? He has to fight in the war. He has to fight in the war. So if your nature is, you are very fearful person, you are not will, you are always worry about your life, can he join the army and fight for the country? No. If you always worry about your life and your body, your thing, you are fearful, not a brave person, you cannot join army and do, right? For joining the army, you need to have a fearless attitude, bravery, right? So you should be you should be ready to sacrifice your, when you have that quality, you will be joining in the army, serving. Similarly, when you want to, like people will, we could see many examples, like this is all I'm trying to explain difference between the material consciousness and spiritual consciousness. The examples I am giving is material consciousness, and now we'll try to discuss the spiritual consciousness. Like in a Janmashtami time, we see many devotees do fasting, and in the night after midnight feast, many people live, but some people will be staying and doing so much service, cleaning the whole temple, cleaning the kitchen, and making it ready for next day Prabhupada Vyasa Puja, so that devotees will come and cook nice prasadam, offered to Prabhupada and other devotees, right? So that with that mood, people will be served. And some people will going to the book distribution. You brahmacharis going, many devotees, right? When you go to the book distribution, so many humiliations and so many people shout, like you will get different treatment. So, but and many people like Mataji and sitting for hours and doing so much service. So you are doing you are spending your time, effort, and many things you are sacrificing for the service. This is the selflessness service. This is the doing the welfare activity, like welfare for others, right? When you do serve Krishna, you, like if you cook prasadam in the temple, that will be distributed everywhere, right? So that is a welfare activity. So many things, the service you do with selfless attitude, that is the key thing for entering into the Vaikunta. Again, that mood we have to see. If someone is forcing you to do the service, that will not be pure spiritual consciousness. What would be your mood? Okay, today is Krishna's birthday, Janmashtami. Many people are doing some service. I should also do some service. Okay, afternoon, night time, no one is there because they need people to clean the temple. Okay, this is the opportunity I'll do to please Krishna, right? This kind of attitude you need to develop, right? It should come voluntarily. It should, that service motive should come from within. Then what will happen? You will develop the spiritual consciousness. Then you will be able to enter into the Vaikuntha Loka. Dhruva Maharaj did the same thing, right? He was fully selfish, desire was having, but later after getting the darshan of Vishnu, he became selfless, right? He didn't, when Kubera was asking the, he wanted to give boon, but he said no, I don't want. So this is the selflessness. You do everything for the pleasure of Krishna, not someone is forcing you to do or someone is dictating, forcefully asking you to. You should do voluntarily with the feel, the love for Krishna. Then that is a spiritual consciousness. That is then why we need to get the spiritual consciousness. What is the why we need to require? Like as I mentioned, if you are going to other country, you need to know the rules and regulations. Similarly, if you are trying to, your aspiration is to go back to spiritual world, Vaikunta, you need, what is the situation there? Krishna is the ultimate enjoyer in the spiritual world. He is the Purusha. He is the ultimate enjoyer. Rest all living as souls facilitating that enjoyment to Krishna, right? They are not trying to enjoy on their own. They are trying to facilitate the enjoyment to Krishna. That is the requirement. So if you are trying to write exam, simply on the day of exam you go and write, without studying, will you study? Will you be able to pass the exam? No. You need to prepare before exam, right? Similarly, Krishna in the Vaikuntha Loka, Krishna is the ultimate enjoyer. Everybody is facilitating that enjoyment to Krishna. How Krishna, that is required, that is the key characteristic, key consciousness required. Everything for the pleasure of Krishna. So that consciousness we have to develop in this material world if you want to go back to spiritual world. When you know that that is what we are trying to get, this conscious, the selfless nature. Same thing you will exhibit after going Golok, spiritual world. You are trying to develop that consciousness. When you develop that consciousness means doing a voluntarily service with love and affection towards Krishna, not forcibly, not nothing with any other constraints, with free, open-minded, with love for Krishna, with genuine love, with happy feelings. If you do service, you will get that selflessness nature. So you serve that way, you will get the eligibility to Goloka. So these are the important points which I would like to convey in relation to this. And same thing, Dhruva Maharaj pastime also we could see he is attaining this quality, the spiritual consciousness. So I'll conclude here. Any comments? Any? Yes, Prabhu. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not able to recollect what is the Sanskrit. Did anybody remember the Sanskrit? It includes animal as well. No, it includes it. Yeah, it includes human beings as well as animals. So maybe the specific. Yeah, we the, no. There could be some generic term in Sanskrit, but which I am not able to recollect anything. Yes. See, that is a self-elimination. See, the elimination is coming from Krishna's body, right? So he is there in that lake, right? So the spiritual. That's why the verse is saying, right, in the Bhagavad Gita, you don't need any sun or moon or anything. That bodily effulgence in each planet, in each loka, giving the effulgence. Yeah, all the yeah, every each Vaikuntha planet where Supreme Lord that is coming. So every but that in our material world, that effulgence is coming to sun. Through sun, all other things are getting eliminated. Yes, yes. The spirit, the effulgence. I don't know from Brahmajyoti, the effulgence coming to the sun, and from sun, all the stars and moons are getting illuminated. That's how. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. See, Prabhu, this actually there are many such instances there in Bhagavatam where such message. But you need to see the context. See, this is Dhruva Maharaj pastime. Dhruva Maharaj entering into the Vaikuntha during that time, he is explaining the qualities. Now connect this verse with Dhruva Maharaj pastime. What he did. That's what I was bringing the example, right? Dhruva Maharaj, he was selfish. Desire was there, but he became transformed. And when Kubera was there, he wanted to give some benediction. He didn't ask any material benedictions. He said, I wanted to only constantly remember Krishna, Vishnu, right? That was the nature. That was the eligibility he is highlighting here. So we cannot use this. We cannot, yeah, with the purport you can explain, but connect back to the past time. In which circumstances this was being spoken, it was spoken by Sukadeva Goswami. Connect to that past time and explain. Then it's a, it will make it be more easy for everyone to understand. Right? That's the. Sure. See, the Vaikuntha is a spiritual world. It is a beyond this material world. The world which we are living is material world, where it is a, as per our shastra, it is full of miseries. We may get little bit happiness, but after that we get so many miseries. But the Vaikuntha means name itself. Vaikuntha means there is no miseries. The name Vaikuntha means Kunta means no, there is no miseries, right? Vaikuntha. That is the place you will be. Then means you will not have any problems like material world. But to go there, what is the eligibility? Yeah, yeah. The two ways I understand. But see, if you have to, okay, if you have to go, this is the this verse as I mentioning, right? This verse is explain the required qualification to go there. But as I gave an example, if you are trying to write an exam, you can't write justly without knowing any subject. You can't go there and you write exam and pass, right? You have to prepare. Similarly, we need to get that happiness. We have to get ready. So in this material world, we have to prepare ourselves to get that consciousness. So in by living in this world also, with your consciousness, with the practice of devotion, you can get into that mood of Vaikuntha, right? Then you will be eligible to go actual Vaikuntha. Yeah. It is there. Yeah, it is there. See, like I was explaining the beginning, right? I'm not sure if you are there. So we are in this material world. We have Earth planet is there, heavenly planets there, and below hellish planets there. So that constitutes a material world. Beyond this material the universe, there is a Brahmajyoti, like as I've explained, there is a causal ocean. That is the Karnodakasha. Mahavishnu will be lying on that, on top of that Brahmajyoti, and then Mahesh Dham, and then Ayodhya Dham, then all the Vaikuntha planets. You can imagine to go up. It's far away from our current position, current planet. It's there. It's there in the physical planet is there, spiritual world that is ever existing. Even at least our material planet, it will be dissolved after certain time, but that will be there forever. So we have to go to that planet, but to go to that planet, we have to develop the same consciousness when we are living in this material. Yeah, it is there something. See, it's a so we see we can there are certain pictures there. With that pictures we can easily go through it. But by after class we can see. Yeah, yeah. Okay. So we don't want to see the Big Bang theory came very recently. It's a material. See, one more thing I was telling in the beginning. If you have to understand the spiritual world, we cannot try to understand with our material knowledge. We should have a different example I was quoting. If you want to migrate from India to Australia, you cannot apply the rules so same way this logic also applicable here as well. So when you are trying to understand the material world, like traveling, going back to the spiritual world, it's not just a relocation. It's not material. We try to understand, okay, maybe we don't have enough equipment to travel. Those are all material views. But actual spiritually, what is like if you see the Dhruv Maharaj past time, the plane came from Vaikuntha planet to take him. We don't need to use our planes. So there are many aspects are there if you want to understand the proper. But there are multiple aspects which we need to understand to exactly get the clear view. But after the class, I got this picture. Just I will try to show you as per Srimad Bhagavatam. This is mentioned. So how it is. Yeah. I can show you the picture. A picture, a diagram will make you more understandable than yeah. Picture would be more easy to.
But yeah, both. No, but it is that is specific to one universe, right? The, all the sun, moon, everything is one universe. Yeah, one universe it is. Yeah, but there are many such universes there. Be- Okay, I think for the, we will for the benefit of other people, we'll end the discussion here. Okay. Grandhara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.